And welcome to Dispatches from Shedquarters, right in the middle of a conversation here. And yeah, there's been people shitting on that movie left, right, and center already.
Of course.
And we're talking about Kevin Smith's Jane Silent Bob reboot. Jay has a master plan in effect right now. I don't know if you have you revealed it?
I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on here.
Okay. Well, Jason has a picture. Well, Jason has the reboot album,
right?
Soundtrack album.
Yes.
And his plan is every third day he takes a picture of himself.
3 to 4.
You don't want to
3 to 4. I don't want to limit myself.
Okay.
But I also don't want to be less than that.
Okay.
Because then it becomes harassment.
That's true too. So Jason is taking pictures of himself with the album, tagging Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes, and saying, "Hey, yeah, we're going to be in Toronto for the movie for the first viewing. Can I get my album signed? It would be like real cool if you could sign my album."
Yeah, the first one was it'd be a great belated birthday present.
Yes.
And Kevin liked it. He liked that tweet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the second tweet I put out last Thursday, I said that I would do anything, in capital letters, anything.
That's right, because I remember we had the discussion on last week's show about me not bailing your ass out.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, and I'm going to stop short of offering sexual favors. I've already that's been unanimously. Anybody I've told my plan to, they said that's probably a good idea. So we'll stop there.
That's a great idea.
But I just I just threw up the third tweet.
Okay.
And I said previously, yeah. Let's read it word for word
quickly to the tweeters,
to the Twitter machine.
All right.
I'll let you read it. Because you haven't even seen it.
Okay.
I literally just posted it.
Okay, 18 minutes ago, Count Beishi. I said before that I will do emphasis on do anything to get my reboot vinyl signed by that Kevin Smith and at Jason Mewes at the early Toronto Road Show. I will also say anything. Gonna pull a Lloyd Dobler here and hold the album above my head and trying to get their attention. Hashtag, it's still my quest.
Yep.
All right. And there you go. Hold on a second. Boom.
Oh, you gonna throw me some love?
I threw you a like. Nice. Because that's how you get the ball rolling. Somebody has to be the first.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes for you.
Yeah, I'm 2 for 2 so far.
Not bad.
He's liked both tweets so far. So,
did you see his one tweet that he was in Edmonton last night?
Yeah, the Iron Bob T-shirt.
No. I was talking about him sitting at the back of the theater.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So
yeah, the Iron Bob was the one he posted, I think, this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he talked about writing that script. It was a very Kevin-inception.
Yes,
Kevinception. That's what he called it.
Yep. So he's staying busy.
Yeah.
So
he's adamant he's going to get Clerks 3 and Mallrats 2 made. It seems like that's his quest now.
Okay.
Because there's been so many hurdles over the years trying to get both those projects to come together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's now actively fighting to make it happen.
The biggest hurdle was Jeff Anderson's situation.
Yes, for Clerks 3, yes.
When that got smoothed out, that basically greenlit that one.
I think what helped along the way is the reception to the reboot trailer and, the fact that it reconnected with Ben, so anything is possible kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that kind of might have opened Jeff Anderson's eyes a little bit.
If Ben can go back, he can go back.
Right. So. I think something along those lines. It would not surprise me. Not to mention, Kevin might have pulled the "I had a heart attack, man" card.
Well,
so he's not against using that.
He's
card.
not above that either because he's done that to a bunch of people to get them in reboot because he goes, "Hey, man, I just had a heart attack. Can be in my movie." I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Hey, he's got to milk it while he can.
No, that's true. Yeah, but that's coming up to 2 years now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so, very close to 2 years.
I think the statute of limitations on the
2-year mark.
Yeah, heart attack guilt is just about played its course.
But hey, he played it. He got what he needed. I can't wait to see it. I'm not going to watch the home video release. I am saving myself for February 1st. I've made that decision. I am saving myself for February 1st.
But you're going in as cold as possible, right?
Yeah, I've avoided spoilers other than what Kevin has revealed and whatnot, what we know of cameos that are there and so on.
Yep.
I'm not reading any more. I'm not reading any solid reviews, anything like that. I want to be as cold as possible.
I probably read something, but I haven't remembered anything of it. So
I can remember, I think, one or two things of certain cameo people. That's about it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well.
and that's just all I want.
That's all you want?
Yes, I want to be able to have that experience for experience sake. Yeah. I want, it's going to be a moment for me.
Okay.
Whether I love it, which I probably will, I'll admit I'm jaded. Being a fan. I'm already going in liking the movie
on a pretty positive note.
Yes.
Okay.
Whether or not I'll be able to shut that off. You know what? No. You know what? I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to turn my critical eyes on.
Unabashedly fanboying your way through the night.
Exactly.
Attaboy.
You know what? Maybe eventually when I get around to doing my Kevin Smith review list, then I'll turn the critical eyes on. But until then, no. This is just going to be pure love for Kevin and what he does, and Jay, of course. Hand in hand.
Yeah.
I'm just
right.
Yep. That's my mindset.
It sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. I'm going in pretty cold.
Yeah, you're ahead of me though, because you got your own album.
Yes, I did.
You didn't have the adventure that I did. I sought mine out at an actual record store. I put in the work.
You were Indiana Jones,
and you just went clickety clickety.
And I just went right to the Google machine and said, "Which one of these places sells it closer to me?" Thank you, thank you. And I said, "Just send me one." So I just guess I don't have the adventurous heart that you do.
Yeah. It was a kind of sort of like spur of the moment thing, like over a 2 to 3 day period of me trying to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just got lucky.
There you go. Well,
I would have eventually probably searched online down the road, but.
Well, I said when you were in Windsor and you see a record shop, you're going to go in
but I had that conversation with a coworker like 2 to 3 days before that.
Yeah,
that's what planted the seed. Yeah, because he bought it at that same record shop. I thought he'd gone to London. I thought he said he got his in London, but no, he got his at the Windsor store.
The Windsor store is usually pretty good when it comes to records like that.
Yeah. Well, he bought the last one. From the Sunshine Records.
Gotcha.
And it was the manager at Sunshine Records that recommended I try this other shop downtown, and that's where I got lucky. I had one left. So
nice.
Well, remember, there's only 3,300 of them. So
is that what it is?
Yep. Limited run of 3,300.
I'm in there too.
Yep.
I just started to go through some of the boxes.
Of your collection?
Yeah, that pile right there is trash. They're trashed. There's no saving those ones.
Oh, okay. The covers or the records themselves?
The records themselves have been damaged.
Okay.
They're just too far gone. There's no saving them, no matter how hard you try to clean them.
Do you have the WWF WrestleMania album?
No.
I do.
You do?
I do.
It's all the theme songs from
like it's like I'm a Real American, For Everybody by Roddy Piper.
That's a good one.
I have that album at home.
I remember at one point in time I had a 3 CD pack of the WWE entrances.
Yeah, they used to put those out on a regular basis.
Yes, they did. And I believe the 3 was, I want to say it's like the early stuff where I'm an American, that kind of thing. Then it gets a little bit older, and then it gets into the Attitude Era, D-Generation X theme songs and stuff like that. So,
and it was around then that they started getting licensed artists.
Yeah,
like they got the Motorhead for AH and so on.
Yeah. So that'd be a cool album to listen to. I know I had the the Pile Driver album, the one with Hulk Hogan on the cover, where he's got the hard hat.
Okay, yep. I already remember that one.
That was
Pile Driver. That was Coco Beware, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Coco did Pile Driver. Then they had a bunch of different guys doing songs, and then I think they had. What was that? Land of a Thousand Dances?
That's on the first album.
Is that the first album?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they did another.
Because that song ends with Iron Sheik going into his shtick.
Yes. Cheeky baby. They did another ensemble song.
That's
can't remember
the
what
only
it
one that comes to mind, but it's been a long time. Mm-hmm. I'll have to bring that WWF album over.
Oh yes. We will.
Hopefully it's playable condition. I haven't touched it in ages. I haven't had a record player.
Well,
a very long time.
Like I said, if it's still in the inner sleeve, it should be fine.
I believe it is.
Yeah, you should be all right.
I bought it I'm pretty sure I bought it at a thrift store or a yard sale, something like that, a long time ago.
Okay.
I have, I think, like 3 albums in my
your collection.
Home. Yes.
You want some of mine?
No, because again, I don't even have a record player.
Well, get a record
I just got it for nostalgia's sake.
The record players are pretty cheap.
I might the only one I might have that is from my childhood, and this is going to sound weird. Remember, childhood. I may still have The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe
That's an
the
oldie.
original Star Wars soundtrack.
What?
Does not have the poster because it came with a poster. I know it won't have the poster, and I'm not even sure if I still have that or not. I haven't actually looked at these things in a while. They're just sitting up on top of a shelf. So
that would be awesome. I know because I was listening to a podcast. It was about the guy was a music professor, and he was talking about movie soundtracks and stuff like this. And then he did a whole retrospective of all the Star Wars, a lot of the John Williams stuff.
Right.
And he broke down like Luke's theme, Leia's theme, Han's theme, Obi-Wan's theme, and Darth Vader's theme. And it's just like, oh, okay, this is so in-depth and from a scholarly perspective. Like, you're just like, I really like this music. And this guy goes, this is why you like this music, because it's hitting
John Williams hit all the right notes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I listened. Okay, I think it was like a 3-part podcast, and each one was like an hour and a half. And every time the opening fanfare, those big brasses hit for Luke's theme, I got goosebumps every single time, because it's such an iconic piece of my childhood and growing up from that. When I hear that opening of Luke's theme, that people know it as the theme from Star Wars, is actually Luke's theme.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Yep.
I just thought it was the theme.
No, it's Luke's theme.
Okay.
So when that hits, those trumpets hit, it's just like, oh, I know exactly what's going on, and I'm so happy about it. But it was going in depth with the music and stuff like this. He did I wish I could remember the name of the podcast, but a deep and dark, like dark music, and it's just like, oh, you were like dark and creepy, like not so much horror slasher type thing, but tension, how the music sets the tone of the scene. And
Halloween.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the most iconic for a soundtrack that builds tension. It would be the original Halloween.
It has to be. And
it's
right up.
so simple too, because it's just like a single piano with, I think, like some sort of like bass low note behind it.
Yep. Well, you look at Friday the 13th. That
Yep.
That, like, as soon as you hear that, you're just like, oh, it gets your attention no matter where. And it's such an iconic sound, even when you're like out with your friends and you're trying to build tension or be something like this. Somebody hits that does that, you automatically stop and think. You're looking like, okay, what something's going to happen.
I can remember a movie. Now, this movie does not have any of like the, for lack of a better term, like legendary clout of like Star Wars or Halloween, like those types of iconic films, right? But it's one of the first movies I can remember where music became a plot point.
Oh, okay.
Sleeping with the Enemy. Julia Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
And I cannot remember the guy who plays her husband, but her husband is like this controlling, uber controlling, obsessive.
Okay.
And he's almost abusive. And she escapes him. I think she tries to fake her own death, but he doesn't fall for it. Mm-hmm. Well, he would play this certain like operatic song.
What's that called again?
Sleeping with the Enemy.
Okay.
Chris and I went and saw it in the theater when it came out.
Wow.
We went to the theater a lot back when we were kids, when we were young. So
it's Chatham.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly. So like, it was a good movie. It was intense and all, but he played this certain deep, scary operatic music. Okay. Wah, 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 like really deep and loud. Well, spoilers, as the movie progresses, he tracks her down. He finds her again. So she thinks she's safe. She has no idea that he has found her. She comes home. As soon as she walks in the door, there's the music.
Oh, shit. Julia Roberts, Patrick Bergin,
that's
Kevin Anderson, Elizabeth Lauren, Kyle Secor, Claudette Nevins, a bunch of other people.
That's one of the first movies that I can remember where the music became a part of the story, like a plot point.
Yeah. Well, that is when you look at when people are being tortured, interrogated, and stuff like this, they use music to wear them down, to like get them to crack.
They've made jokes about it with like hostage situations, and they'll blast like ABBA for stuff like that, you know.
It's one of those things that works. Like I said, music can get into you, and it really can fuck you up or make your day.
Shawshank Redemption, Ave Maria, or whatever it was that he played.
There's a piece of music, Beethoven's Ode to Joy, never fails to get me to well up. It's just a beautiful piece of art, and there's a YouTube video of there's a little girl in a square in Europe, and there's a guy. No, wait a minute. Somebody's playing the violin, and the little girl comes over and tips, like throws a couple coins in the hat or something like this. All of a sudden, people start coming out. It turns into a flash mob of a philharmonic orchestra with a conductor and everything.
Wow.
Doing the Ode to Joy.
Oh,
and
wow.
it builds like one instrument, then like it just builds and builds and builds and builds. Then you have the entire orchestra in this square playing Ode to Joy, and everybody's going like everybody stops.
An orchestral flash mob.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty awesome.
It is just like amazing stuff like this. Another thing that I really like is those pianos, those public pianos. Have you ever seen videos of those?
Yes.
You get some people out there, they're like just tinkling away, and then somebody that knows what they're doing will step up and just blow everybody out of the water. It's just amazing.
And a lot of times they don't look it either.
No, there was one. There's a Japanese girl at the piano playing. I think she was playing something classical. This dude comes up. He's got like a black hoodie on and his sunglasses. And he sits beside her. He goes, "Can I sit beside you and play with you?" She goes, "Yeah." Like this. He starts playing Boogie Woogie. And she stops and looks at him. She goes, "What is that?" He goes, "Oh, just watch. It gets better." And he runs up and down the keys playing this Boogie Woogie piano tune. It's just like, then he goes, what do you think? She goes, I really like that. He goes, okay, and gets up and leaves. And that's it. And it's just like, wow, that just to have that talent and to just drop it at the.
So that's where that sort of thing. A lot of people, particularly I find with pianists, like they tend to stay to classical, like because that's how you train, that's how you learn, and so on.
Yep.
So once they start doing like pop versions, some of them don't take to it. Some super music snobs don't find it's music at all, but it can really be something. And that's where I like that Xander, even though like Xander started out as musical theater, and that seems to be his strongest suit because that's where the emotion really comes out. But he's really taking to the classical stuff, but he's not losing the musical theater. He doesn't do enough poppy stuff, but okay, whatever. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to, and that's fine.
If, like I said, with his talent,
he does Buble, and that's standards. That's not quite pop.
No. Like I said, if he puts his mind to it, or if he's going to go through a phase where he goes, I don't want to do this anymore, then he'll start doing more standards, more pop stuff and stuff. With his range, he can do whatever he really wanted.
It's nice when a musician is willing to do that. To change it up, do a different style now and then. Yeah, that's always nice.
Yeah,
and that same goes with filmmakers too. Look at Kevin's work: comedy, Red State.
Well, yeah, but you have to look in, especially with Kevin, his state of mind when Red State came about.
Right, yeah.
So it was not the best state of mind for him to be in to try and be creative.
But it gave us arguably one of his best films.
I would agree with that, because Red State, when it came out, it was so different.
Exactly.
It was like the polar opposite of what Kevin had done up until that point.
But is there any other movie that you can think of that is even close to similar to Red State? The subject matter,
the subject matter,
and how the story plays out. It's dark.
It's dark. And the comedy is still there.
Yes.
The one line where they're talking, John Goodman with his assistant, talking about the cross
Kevin
over
Pollak.
the gate. How much do you think a cross like that costs in dollars or common sense? And I was like,
yes.
Fuck yes. That's such a brilliant line. And I'm just like, I'm not smart enough to write a line like that. So, but I have firsthand experience with somebody playing a piano unexpectedly, in an unexpected manner. Back when I was in public school, we had a piano in one of our classrooms. So the music teacher said that it needed to be tuned. So they had somebody come in to tune the piano. So we're all kind of gathered around this dude watching him tune the piano. And then all of a sudden he goes, okay, that's good. He goes, hey, you want to hear some music? I went, sure. That's the first time I heard Piano Boogie Woogie. And it was just like, whoa. And he left the lid open so you can actually see the hammers hitting the strings. So you got a very...
That also gives you a louder volume.
Yeah. And it gives you a lot of, like, you get to see the mechanics behind it. And it's just like, it's really fucking cool. But I didn't say that because I was like grade 5 or 6.
Going back to the music thing.
Yes.
In film. We've also experienced a movie, and this is what really hit us the most, is in the rare case when a movie doesn't have a soundtrack. Infliction. Our first introduction to Jason Mack.
Yes.
Remember, that movie had no soundtrack. And that actually, the lack of a soundtrack actually built the tension even more in that film.
Because you felt like you were riding along.
You were actually in the car with them.
Yep.
You were the conversation wasn't washed out. You were focused on that.
Yes.
But you don't see too many movies doing anything like that.
No, because a lot of people, to me, it seems like they fall back on music to cover up a weak point, and they haven't figured out how to make that weak point go away. Well, we'll just load up music or something.
Yeah.
There's no.
The music is supposed to help keep the mood, the tone, right? That's what it's supposed to be.
But sometimes somebody gets written into a corner and they go like, what do we do? And it just makes...
Montage.
Yeah, that's the best way to get out of it. The another piece of classical movie music that always makes you think is the Jaws. Dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like such an tension building. It's just dun, dun on a cello.
Because if you don't know what it is, then it's going to catch you by surprise. But by now, most people know that.
Yeah.
And you know something bad's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I'll raise you.
Okay.
I raise you another iconic piece of music that does elicit a response. 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, yes.
I can never pronounce the name of that. Also, Zoxprusta. I can never pronounce it right.
Yeah.
But that. Boom, boom, boom. Like, just thinking about it, I could already feel my heart starting to pick up. Like,
see, I think what we are talking about here is a lot of classical music.
yes.
And there's that the classical music hits you in such an emotional center in your body, especially if it's like a big orchestra piece. You get a whole bunch of music coming at you all at once, like Beethoven's Fifth. It's more the super iconic, just opening, and
William Tell Overture,
is so good.
which I've experienced inside the Calgary Saddle Dome.
Oh,
During so we were there for the Calgary Stampede Parade.
Yep.
And we were a marching band. We would have gone on to the field marching competition, which is why we were in the Saddle Dome to watch the field marching competition. But we got bumped out for another school that got held up, so they weren't there in time for the parade. So they bumped us out and put them in our slot. So we didn't get to compete. We got screwed over.
bullshit.
Yeah, we wouldn't have won the competition. We know this,
It's
but
just
we
a-
were
it's
better
just-
than they were. Okay.
An honor just to be nominated.
Yeah, but we did get to experience it. What got us though? What got us? The winning band.
Yep.
They played the William Tell Overture inside the Saddle Dome.
Ooh,
They had a cannon
nice.
that we didn't realize was like
Over the
50
yonder.
feet there. So da 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 da. But okay, we all had a heart attack. Scared the crap out of all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody noticed it over there.
And this.
As soon as it goes off, we all noticed it
Oh
then.
yeah, no doubt. Wow.
You know what else I like when it comes to like a trend that doesn't happen enough is when an artist takes a classical style and mixes it with rock or rap, or they get that, you kind of get a mashup thing going.
Okay.
One of the best examples, November Rain by Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Guns N' Roses song because of the orchestral aspect.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Metallica S&M concert DVD?
I don't think so.
It's Metallica and the San Francisco Philharmonic.
No, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's really
I
good.
would imagine it would
Yeah.
be.
So you've got the epicness of Metallica songs that can be that way, and then you layer in what they did. The conductor actually wrote the accompaniment of the orchestra to the Metallica songs. So he
Nice.
went through and he goes, he's picking these songs and then he's writing accompaniments.
Did they do a cover of One?
I think they did. I'd have to go back and
I've got to
check.
look that up.
Yeah.
I got to look that up. I'm so curious now.
Yeah, that was One is still one of my favorite. Like I said, that solo.
I told you last night that
Yeah.
was my first Metallica song. That's the first song that I knew was Metallica, and I liked it instantly.
Yeah, my introduction to Metallica was Damage Incorporated. That album. So
Was
you've
that,
got
that was before the Black Album?
Oh yeah. Well, one wasn't on.
No.
Okay.
I'm obviously I don't know enough about Metallica to really say. I thought it was the Black Album. I know Black Album was Enter Sandman and whatnot. One was before that. Yeah,
I think it was Ride the Lightning.
Yes, it was, because after I heard the song, I went and bought the cassette, and it was Ride the Lightning.
Whoop! Wow. I don't know how to spell anymore.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. Injustice for All.
Injustice for All?
Yeah.
Okay.
My bad.
I know I bought two different Metallica cassettes at the same time. So
yeah. Injustice for All. That had some really good stuff on it.
One was the first song that I might have heard something before, but I didn't know that was Metallica. One, this is one by Metallica, and instantly it got my attention, and I was hooked.
Well, because it was not something you were used to especially from Metallica.
Because it has a slow build.
It has that slow build, and when it finally gets to the breakdown, you're just like, wow! It just blows you right out of the water.
And the video is terrifying.
Some of that's an actual movie.
Yeah,
Trying to get your gun. So
I know.
Some of my favorite YouTube videos is hip hop guys reacting to metal songs, and there's a couple doing reactions to one, and they're just like, what is going on here? Like, I'll be watching it and I'm reading some of the comments, and you can figure out where in the song the guy is in the video by some of the comments that he's made. And the one comment one guy made in the video, he goes, "Oh, here comes the breakdown. I'm ready for it." And I'm scrolling through, and somebody goes, "No, you're not ready for the breakdown yet." You're just not ready yet. So, but it just some fantastic reactions. I'm stuck right now on there's the Nero Forte by Slipknot. They just put out their
I remember, you posted a link to it.
Yeah. So that just came out in December. So there's a lot of people are doing reactions to that.
Okay.
And it's just like, I never get tired of listening to this song, but I'll never get tired of watching people just like, what's going on here? So
it's nice when an artist like Slipknot that has their niche group, but they get attention elsewhere.
Yes.
And in a good way.
Yes.
That's always nice.
Yeah. I like the, one of the guys that I watch, he reviewed Freebird by Leonard Skinner.
Okay.
Leonard Skinner, that Freebird, it's an 8-minute song. So it's broken up into two halves. He gets in there, he thinks he knows what he's getting into. So the first half of the song is I'm dumping you, baby. This is the kind of thing. He goes, oh, this guy's a pimp. This guy's a pimp. Then he gets in the second half of the song where it's the instrumental, and you can actually see his mind melting from the roller coaster that the instrumental section is. Like, they bring it down, and all of a sudden it comes right back up, and they get smashed with that big guitar solo at the end. And the guy looks like he just had an aneurysm. He's staring at the camera, and he's like, what? And then the song ends. He just stops, and he's looking at the camera. He takes his headphones off, puts them down, gets up, looks back at the camera, shakes his head, peace, and closes the door. Speechless. Like, he literally just like stopped being able to talk because that instrument, that piece of music hit him in such a fantastic way.
And everyone gets guilty of this. I know I am, of not giving certain other types of music a chance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's and that comes from because people they'll badmouth you, they'll ridicule you. Kesha.
You're Kesha. That's not music.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why. I love the lyrics of that song. and it's a catchy friggin' dancing
Okay.
song. So
As far as I'm concerned, you're 1 for 1 for musical acts that you've posted videos.
okay.
The girl that was on the Eddie Murphy, Lizzo.
Yes, Lizzo. Yes.
I watched a couple of her videos. She's fantastic.
Yes, she is. Absolutely.
Incredible artist.
Yes.
And then you put Kesha up there.
Not saying she's got some good shit, and that's a good song. Her Praying song from a couple years ago that she wrote after the stuff came out about her manager and the abuse that she suffered from him.
Yeah.
That Praying song is a powerful friggin' song. Dude.
Okay.
If you have not heard it, if you're not familiar, Kesha went public. She was abused by her, I think her manager, I think Dr. Luke, I think was his name.
Sure.
Yeah, it was all over the news. But he was like calling her fat and shit, like putting her down, and she's not by any means.
No. So
Okay.
he's gaslighting her, trying to control her.
Yes. And when she finally broke free of that, and she told her story, and then she came out with the song "Praying," and it is powerful.
Yes.
And she proved in that because she was the poppy dance TikTok and did dancey songs. She showed her pipes.
Okay.
Praying, she sings.
Okay.
And you get a little bit of that in Raising Hell, but it's going back to a little bit of the dancey pop. But the lyrics, like, I don't want to go to heaven without raising hell. Come on, that's an anthem.
It's a good line.
That's a great line.
It's a good line, yeah. No, I love all genres of music, especially good music.
I don't give enough of a chance to other stuff. I'll be honest, hip hop.
There's
Modern hip hop anyways.
modern hip hop is hard to do. Like there's Childish Gambino did This Is America.
Oh, that
was amazing.
He's probably one of the top artists.
Yes.
In the game today.
Absolutely.
And not just for his music. The guy can act.
Oh,
he can do comedy. He can dance. He can do everything.
Total package kind of guy.
Yep.
And it just when that movie video came out,
oh my God,
it just was like I remember watching it for the first time, and I was stunned. Absolutely,
most people
stunned.
were.
And I was going like, this guy is just a genius.
Starts off right off the bat. You got that guy tied to the chair, and then bang,
yeah,
and then the choir halfway through the video.
The guy that starts out, the guy's playing guitar. Mm-hmm. Then the camera pans a little bit and comes back. He's tied up with a hood on his head, and he gets shot in the back of the head. It's just like, all right, I am now on my heels. Where is this taking me for the rest of this journey?
And then the choir.
Then the choir. And then it's so good. Just so good. The, what's another? Andre was surprised the hell out of by me the one day when I quoted Ice Cube lyrics from "It's a Good Day." He goes, "What? How'd that happen?"
See, and that's where the hip hop that I kind of got into was way back in the day. We're talking like early Run DMC and Beastie Boys.
I got all that on my iPod.
And then I followed Eminem for a while, but I didn't delve too far off that track. And now I'm hearing people talk like there's a couple people that I work closely with that they're big into that scene, and they're talking about certain artists, and it's okay. I want to check this one out. I think I want to check that one out. And then there's the ones that are up and coming on YouTube that are just trying to make it.
Yeah.
NF is one kid. At first, Xander thought he'd heard a rumor that this was like Eminem's cousin or brother or something, but there is no connection. But you can see the guy is totally inspired by Eminem.
Oh, okay.
And that's like, he's not pulling his gimmick or anything. He's another white rapper, but his lyrics are amazing. He's got some good stuff. When I Grow Up is a fantastic song.
See, that's one that, like, I get a lot of shit sometimes for hosting DJ parties on Facebook because I'll be on YouTube and I'm diving down the music rabbit hole and I'm just sharing links. I'm going, I like this. Everybody else needs to hear this kind of thing. And it said, I know Scamahorn has texted me a couple times. Oh, you've been drinking, huh?
I think I shared something last night, didn't I? When I got home. But I don't think it was a music video. I can't remember.
No,
I came home after our gaming session last night, and of course I took my medicine, and now I can't remember what the hell I posted.
When I was growing up, a lot of my music influence was from my parents, obviously, from riding in the car, a lot of country and western, old country and western, and now would be considered oldies or stuff like this coming from out of Detroit.
Okay.
So that's where you would think my wheelhouse would be country and western music with 60s, 70s era music. That would be my rails that this train would roll on. But also out of Detroit, we had the Riff and Wheels. And those were the metal stations from back in the day. And that's where a lot of us young cats got turned on to a bunch of different, because I know every time we got into the car with the old man, me and my brother were diving to change the channel to 101.1 out of Detroit to get the Riff, because
Arthur Penhouse,
baby, Drew and Doug, Trudy Daniels.
Yeah, Drew and Mike, the morning show.
Who else was it? Meltdown. He's still
Meltdown is still there.
Yeah. So these are the music that Riff started.
They've just they advertise on the Riff a lot. They have a podcast of the history of Riff.
Ooh.
It's like Meltdown talking to some of the old DJs, Arthur Penhall included, telling stories from the back in the day of Riff, talking about when Queen came to town and acts like that.
Yep.
Pardon me, I might try to check that out.
Riff started when I was born. It's almost a 50-year-old radio station, which is...
And they've never changed their format.
I got to sneeze.
I can tell. Fire in the hole!
There.
Shoot my son.
Thank you. No, they've never changed their format. They've never gone back.
Very rare. A lot of stations go through that.
Yep.
Wheels FM just came back to being Wheels.
I think that...
But they have changed their format many times.
Yeah. I think when Riff was just a monster. There was nobody that could compete with Riff.
I think Riff has consistently been the number one rock station in Detroit. That's kind of their tagline, and I'm pretty sure that that's true. I don't think they've ever lost the number one slot for rock.
No. Well, for the longest time, they were the only rock station.
Yeah, because the Wheels FM actually, I think originally was a country station. Yeah. I'm thinking Howard Stern's movie, Private Parts. Early in his career, he was there. Before
was it Wheels?
Yeah, it was 106.
Oh, yeah.
I'm quite sure it was 106, and they were a country station. Mm-hmm. And then they switched to rock and became Wheels FM, that we know as the rock station.
Yes.
Then they went back to country again.
Yeah, because they're getting slaughtered by Riff.
And just recently, like a year ago, they went back to being Wheels FM, the rock station.
So happy when they came back as a rock station.
Yep.
Because I believe Riff, they hubris. We're number one. Nobody can take us down. You're going to listen to what we play anyways. Then Wheels comes in and goes, hey, we're from the tape generation, the 80s. Remember that stuff? And everybody's going like, yes.
They do play, Wheels does play more classic rock.
Yes, they do.
And where Riff is still playing a lot more of the modern stuff.
Yeah.
They'll throw the classics in too, but they do play a lot more of the modern stuff.
Yes.
So Wheels is carrying the classic torch.
Yes. And that's their draw. And their hook is really deep in a lot of people because that music, what's up?
No.
Who's that?
I was just checking. It was a Twitter notification, but it wasn't.
Oh, damn it. And then another good station that was really kind of snuck into rotation for me is 89X. the new alternative.
Yeah, I used to listen to them a lot. I fall off of them. They're still on my dial, like they're number 5 on my selections, but I don't generally land there very often.
They have a show, a Sunday show called The Time Warp. And
It's been around a long time.
Yes, it has. And it goes back and they play some really great. I remember sitting at work one day listening to Time Warp, and all of a sudden Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's Dead comes on.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, what? It's just like, where did this come from? And play more of it, please.
The Time Warp show was a fun show.
Yeah.
That was probably one of my favorites. And that's where Dave and Chuck started.
Yes.
And then they left there suddenly to pop up on the riff 6 months later.
That caused a lot of problems with the Drew and Mike crew.
Yep.
So, but I can see.
Yeah, because they got blindsided. They had no idea it was coming.
No. And so I remember listening to the very last episode of Drew and Mike, and they didn't give a fuck. They were drunk. They just massively.
And now they actually do a retrospective over on Wheels FM on the weekends.
Yes,
which is nice,
podcast style.
Yeah.
Mike
passed away. So.
Yes. So I remember some of the classic Drew and Mike stuff. The donut shop terrorism.
Yep.
I
was a big follower of theirs when I worked at the bar. Yeah. Every morning I'd go in at 8:00 in the morning to clean the bar up and everything, and I'd have Drew and Mike blaring.
Yeah. Well, I got them more than Stern. Like,
we couldn't even get Stern around here at the time, I don't think.
Well, there was one station out of Chicago.
I was hearing about Stern, but I never knew what station it was found on, and I know I like Drew and Mike, and
there was like another Mancow Muller out of Chicago. It was another like Stern-esque like air quote shock jock kind of thing.
Yeah,
I really dug his show, and it was really good. He had like the Morning Zoo crew, that kind of thing, and that becomes like a stereotype and almost a caricature.
It
does. Well, because you look at that model, that morning model, that kind of thing, because Drew and Mike were the same thing, Dave and Chuck the Freak were the same thing, that morning drive time shock jock crew.
Yep. Are all looking for something quirky, something to stand out, something to get their attention.
Yeah, Stern was breaking molds even before people knew molds were being made with his style of radio.
Yeah, because he had no filter.
No, and basically, a lot of people had the sense to see the money that dude was generating with the type of radio that he was doing. You're just like, let him go, that kind of thing. It's a risk, a hugely calculated risk to let Stern on an open mic with no delay go. Wow. So
hey, again, we had this conversation last night. I told you about that interview thing I saw with Triple H, and he talked about the early days of DX, how Vince wasn't for them.
No.
Vince would tell him, don't do this, that. They do it. And then he'd like, oh, you're going to get us thrown off the air and the network. And then we got the press conference where they actually read the list of what you can't do from the network, and they read it.
Yep.
And the ratings went up, and the network said, all right, keep doing what you're doing. It's working.
Yep. Our ad revenue is so high right now. No, it's just they chase the money, and
it's that lightning in a bottle. You find it. Hey, that caught? All right, let's go.
Ride it till the wheels fall off.
Yep.
So, yeah, we were lucky where we're at right now to get a lot of the stuff out of Detroit, music-wise, because I listened to some of the stations. I remember as a kid listening to some of the stations from my cousins up in Toronto and Burlington, stuff like this. It's like a lot of CanCon and Canadian content, and it's just like, when does the good music start?
I thank God for where we're located for the Detroit TV stations.
Yeah.
If you would have went too far north, you'd be having none of that.
CBC.
And, I love my country, but Canadian TV content was so bland.
Danger Bay, The Littlest Hobo.
The only things that stood out, and they were never on enough, was like, you can't do that on television. Mm-hmm. And that's really the only thing that comes to mind.
The hilarious House of Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that one. Yeah.
That was early morning staple.
And then you got your, the cartoons on TVO, and even then they kind of got a little bland.
The raccoons. Caillou. Fuck you, Caillou.
Fucking Caillou. Now that's long. That was like my kid's day, but still, yes, fucking Caillou.
I've never wanted to murder a child so bad in my entire life.
It's Caillou is number one in that respect, followed closely by Ruby from Max and Ruby. That bossy little bitch. Oh, God. And everybody was like, where the fuck are their parents?
I know.
And then they finally brought their parents in. They had to because they shut people up.
See, they're right here.
Do you remember? Was talking with someone at work about this. Do you remember I think it was on TVO. It had to be because it was French.
Okay.
It was a character that was just a single chalk line. Not Simon in the Land of Chalk. Okay, that's a completely different show.
Okay.
This was just, I don't even know if he had a name. I'm sure he probably did. But he was just one single chalk outline of a person, and then he would be gibber-gabbering, and then other things would pop. He'd be walking along.
I do remember that show. I can't remember.
And he would
name
get mad, and he'd just start.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I do remember that show.
It wasn't even a full show. It was like a 3-minute filler thing.
I still like Simon though.
Simon, yep. Hello, my name is Simon.
Yep. Yes. Welcome to the Nostalgia Show, kids.
Of course, Sesame Street and the Electric Company.
Polka Dot Door.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was an Electric Company, right, and so was Bill Cosby.
That didn't age well. No, but like Polka Dot Door.
Polka Dot Door. Back when it was just Polka Dot Door, and for some reason, there was the guy and girl. The guy would leave, and that's when Pokeroo would show up.
Yes. Yep.
And as a little kid, I never caught on. That was probably the guy in the suit.
We don't have a budget for a third actor. Steve, get in the suit.
Romper Room. That bitch never called my name. And you know how popular a name Jason was?
Not popular enough. I see everybody but Jason.
Exactly.
Fuck you, Jason.
Yep. There were days where I cried. I remember that.
This is the stuff that has shaped your childhood and adulthood.
I didn't get my acknowledgments then.
So I'm doing everything I
crave
can
it now.
Grade me. What's another?
You can't do that on television though, man. That's the show that launched Nickelodeon. I'm pretty sure that's where Nickelodeon started.
It has to,
because that's where the green slime came from.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? I don't know. Splash.
Yeah. I
believe Alanis Morissette actually started there.
I dove down the Alanis Morissette rabbit hole the other night.
You know, they made a Broadway musical based on Jagged Little Pill.
Really?
And it's, as I understand it, getting pretty decent reviews.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
I'm curious. I have not heard any of the music from it at this point to hear how they've changed it, because they would have changed arrangements and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything of what the story is. But it's out there.
Okay. Well, I remember, like I said, I watched enough videos on YouTube of Alanis Morissette that the James Corden video came up of him and Alanis.
In the carpool karaoke?
No. This is in studio where they
redid Ironic.
And they're just like, it's kind of funny. It's not that funny, but it's kind of funny.
Yep.
So they did, it was good stuff. I like Alanis. When she came out with that, I Want You to Know, she was spitting fire. She was so angry at whoever.
Dave Coulier.
Is it Dave Coulier?
That's the rumor.
Wow, she was mad.
That was particularly, as I understand it, that was aimed at Dave Coulier of Full House fame.
Okay, that really does not compute all that
Apparently
easily.
they dated. It didn't end well, and we got you at a no from it. That's the rumor. I
Didn't
don't
end
know.
well. I would say so. That song.
Well, between them, it didn't end well.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I have not heard confirmation of that. That's been a long-standing rumor since shortly after that album dropped.
Okay. I remember getting Jagged Little Pill as a cassette. And said that was like the song.
Family Guy, Blue Harvest, the first Star Wars parody. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, we're going through my old CDs, and I got Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. Oh, that was my 1997 and my 98. Like that album still stands.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's a bad song on that album.
Nope.
Nah.
I said ironic. Thank you.
Hand in my pocket.
Hand in my pocket.
You ought to know, of course.
Yeah.
Yep. Head Over Feet was always
Yes.
one of my favorites as well.
She's so good.
She, again, not
And
confirmed, but I believe
This
she had.
circles back to the start of the conversation with Kevin Smith.
Yes, Kevin's love for Canadiana, and he makes her God
Yeah.
because why not?
Why not? Yep.
I have not. I never did get confirmation of this, but I believe at one point Alanis Morissette had a beef going with either Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas or all the Black Eyed Peas, something like that, to the point where she did this chopped down, slow ballad rendition of the Black Eyed Peas' "My Humps." That is so ridiculous, and it's out there. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
She made a video.
I'm definitely going to have to be looking for that one.
If you're not familiar with the Black Eyed Peas song, it's like my humps, my lovely lady lumps. Like that's part of the chorus.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Well, she does a extremely slow ballad version.
All right, I'm going to have to look for that one. It just sounds so ridiculous. But that's definitely, you go in there, you get people, you have your music beefs and stuff like this.
Yep.
You get these back and forth songs. And I know when you were telling me about Eminem, his latest.
Yeah,
I'm just like, where does Nick Cannon think
I don't know if he has done a retaliation to Nick Cannon. I have not heard of that. If it happened so quick that I missed it. But he dropped a whole album 2 days ago, and in one of them, which is called Godzilla, I guess.
Yeah,
he breaks the world record for the most words in 30 seconds. 229 words in 30 seconds.
Holy cow!
Because he can speed rap.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He broke a record.
He's a monster on the mic, and he's good. He's a great artist.
Yes, he is.
And
for some reason, and because he doesn't like to be in the spotlight, he hates the public eye and all that stuff. That notorious for that.
Stan, right? The song "Stan" gives you that reason. So
that's one of his most powerful songs.
Yes.
But I feel like, and I know next to nothing about him other than what we've heard in the news, but I feel like he'd be the kind of guy that it'd be cool to just hang out with him.
I think you would have to get him in the right frame of mind.
Have a couple drinks and just chill. Shoot the shit.
I have a hard time believing.
I don't know. There's just something about him.
A guy like that seems so defensive. You could not get that dude in a down moment because he would be always looking out for something. The next thing that's coming.
Yep, I get it. He'd be looking for what's the angle? You're right. That's the case because he has. There's numerous stories of him having all these issues and stuff.
People try to jump on him just to get a free ride,
and then he always fires back. I just settled all my lawsuits. Fuck you, Demi.
Yeah. So right out of the chute, he said he was like, I'm pissed off at everybody for trying to ride my coattails, kind of thing. And he's right. And gotta give him credit for being able to hang in there as long as he has.
Yeah.
So.
And just when somebody thinks they can knock him off the throne.
I still like that one line. He said, Will Smith doesn't have to cuss in his records. Well, I do, so fuck you and fuck him too.
Yep.
I was like, oh, so smooth and so good. So what else do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
We just spent an hour on music.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it is not.
So we can keep going.
I like music.
What? Okay, so what music particular? Was there a particular artist or style of music that you listened to the most as a kid, like growing up? Might as well stay on this trip.
As a kid growing up, like I said, a lot of the music was centered around car trip stuff because my brother ball and hockey and stuff like this. A lot of country and western and stuff like this. So it was Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, Conway Twitty, that old school country kind of stuff. So that will always be somewhere in my spectrum of music that's being played. When I started to get older, that's when I started to get into Metallica, and I listen to everything. Like, I have yet to really come across the genre of music that hasn't given me at least one song that I like.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always going to find at least one little nugget somewhere.
Absolutely. So, like, when I talk to some people, I only listen to country and western music. And I'm just like, why are you narrowing your avenue so tight? Like, I like country and western. It's because of people like that, though, that you see a lot of artists jumping genres. Yeah.
Taylor Swift started country, moved to pop because country only got you so far.
Well, okay. Little Nas X, Old Country Road.
Coming the other way.
Yeah,
he's going hip hop to country, which they wouldn't even accept him in the country charts until Billy Ray Cyrus attached.
Which blows my mind.
That's their closed-mindedness.
Yeah, that they could do that. And then the Get Up is, somebody told me it's the spiritual sequel to Old Country Road.
I can't. I wouldn't put that way. No.
Yeah, I said it is kind of country-esque in the line dancing.
Oh, it's definitely country.
Yeah,
definitely country.
But like I said, they're like, it's not country to me. I'm just like,
Xander at times can be a bit of a music snob. It's just coming from his schooling and whatnot.
That's his thing.
He gets there. Yeah. He kind of gets that way sometimes, right? And when the Get Up thing was just starting to blow up, he came. He was home. I think it was the beginning of summer when he came home or whatever, and he didn't really care for it. Like, okay, it's simple. There's nothing to it, right? Then he found a video of Blanco Brown explaining the song and his mindset behind it and his process for coming up with it. Totally turned Xander's opinion around. I don't know the details. I didn't actually watch that video. I like the song. Yeah. I don't need to. I didn't need to, right?
It's a goddamn earworm.
Exactly.
And there's been times where it's just like I've got it on my iTunes and I'll play it, and all of a sudden I'm trying to lay down in bed and it starts, and it was like, fuck.
Now I'm up and dancing. Fuck.
Yep. So it's just one of those things. It's an earworm. It's a fun song. Yep. The video that I watched it, like, I never really got into it until I watched the video. Now,
which video?
The Get Up.
There's numerous videos because it started out as the Get Up challenge.
No, right up from Blanco. Is
it the one where he's doing the dance?
Yes.
Okay, that is actually not the actual video. That is him kind of displaying the dance for the Get Up challenge that blew it up. Really? They made an actual video, like a full-on, full-production video, where it's him traveling down the street, and everyone that he meets along the way starts doing the dance with him. That's the video you saw?
That's the video.
Okay. No, there was one before that where it's him, like, in the driveway in a trailer park holding a drink and doing the dance. It is just that, just him in this driveway in a trailer park at night doing the dance.
Oh, okay.
That's the first video he did.
Okay,
that's not the actual video.
I saw the full production.
Okay, where people keep joining in as you go. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the actual video.
Yeah, that's the one that I've heard the song, bits and pieces of before, and then I just like that kind of thing. Then I watched the video and I went, all right, this is a song just to have fun, and it like do the dance, sing the song, and then I started to watch some of the challenge videos, and I'm just like,
that's when we first saw it.
Yeah,
we saw it. Crystal pulled it up. There's this dude. He's standing in like a storage facility.
I know that video.
He's just wearing shorts and boots.
Skinny little guy.
Yes. My God, that's the best. That's the best challenge video for it.
He does a great rendition of this.
That was the first time we'd heard it.
Yeah.
And instantly fell in love.
Yeah. I had seen that video before, the dude standing in the storage locker. I'm like, okay, kind of cool. Yeah, he's a great dancer. He's doing a really good job. And then I went, Then I watched that. And then I went,
now you get it.
Now I get it. So
pieces come together.
Yeah. So and then they said, I listened to Old Country Road, Little Nas X, and I was like,
Old Town Road.
The same thing. Like, that kind. Then I watched the video. Then first I heard the controversy around it.
Yep.
Then adding the Billy Ray Cyrus to it to give it the country cred.
Yep.
I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. That Billy Ray Cyrus, of all people, now is the go-to for country cred.
Yep.
And I'm just like, the dude sang a country song before, not in the style that people are accustomed to this country song being, but it's still a country song.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I watched the video, and I'm just like, now I get it. So
my favorite version of that song, there is no video for this version, but it's Little Nas X with Billy Ray, another rapper that I can't remember who it is, and then a YouTube kid named Mason Ramsey. So he's like a young kid, I think like 13 maybe or something. So they each do a verse, right? That's my favorite version because when it gets to the Mason Ramsey part, it's adorable. So he's talking about scooting around on his razor.
Okay.
But when he gets to the end of his song, and he only does like 2-3 lines, like his part's pretty short because if you ain't got no giddy up, then giddy up my way. Like, oh my God.
Very cool.
Xander showed me that one.
I'm gonna have to look. There's so much stuff I'm gonna have to look for. I want to go back to Lizzo. So
yes, do you remember what videos you watched of hers? The very first one that I saw of hers was called Tempo. And that's where seeing the other stuff, she blew me away. Like a Tempo.
Was this the one with the high school band?
No.
Okay.
Tempo is the song she does with Missy Elliott.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Missy Elliott.
Tempo is not like any of Lizzo's other stuff because it's all rap. Okay, but it's slow songs are for skinny hoes. I'm a big bitch. I need tempo.
Oh, nice.
And she's all because she's got it. She flaunts it. She's a big girl and she's proud of it, kind of thing, right? And it's like 2/3 of the way through the video, Missy Elliott. It's awesome.
Is it like a torch pass with Missy?
Kind of, sort of. I think Missy Elliott also has a new album out or something.
Okay.
But I think kind of, sort of, a little bit. Definitely inspirations, right?
Yeah.
Who else Lizzo look up to? Missy Elliott is one of the top. So if you need a hero,
Missy Elliott would be the way to go.
But you go from that's the first song I saw by her, and I'm like, all right, good for her. It's a catchy tune and all that, And then, Good as Hell is the one with the high school band, and there's actually 2 different videos for that.
Oh, okay.
The high school band one I think might have been her alma mater. She might have went That was her school.
Okay.
And she does play flute, by the way. That is legit. She plays it in her concerts. That's why there's flute usually in her song somewhere.
Okay, that's good to know.
That's her thing. She is a flautist. So Good as Hell, all about empowerment.
Yep.
Truth Hurts is one of her biggest.
Okay, Truth Hurts. All right.
And it's again, she blends some rap in with some singing and whatnot. And Juice is the fun pop song.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna the video that I watched is like turned me on. I went, yeah, that's this is. I get where you were coming.
But if
from
you watch Tempo and you're gonna say, oh, that's where I started, and then you watch the other ones, and you'll see like I saw a totally different side to her first.
Okay.
I saw the rap side. I'm like, all right, and then whoa.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of the hip hop guys when they're watching the Slipknot videos, Corey Taylor slips into rap. He goes, "This dude is spitting bars," and you listen to Corey Taylor's delivery on a lot of that stuff. It's at a rap tempo, but it's also him screaming his lungs out. So I get the mixing of the genres, and I dig that because you're like, I like this, and I'm going to put it in here. I like this, I'm going to.
That's why I like a lot of the late '90s, early 2000s alternative because they were doing the rock rap blends.
Yes. Yeah,
that's big fan of a lot of that stuff.
But that being said, I also run the gamut back to the. Nathaniel
Rateliff
and the Night Sweats. That's just a bunch of dudes singing and playing instruments.
Yep.
There's
a little more folky, but it works.
It's a great sound. And then you dive into that rabbit hole and you're starting to get a bunch of different people where they're making this folk, air quote, folk style singing, and it's really good. And a lot of these guys aren't getting the recognition or radio play. It's just the gatekeepers of mass media won't let these guys through.
That's why they're finding life on YouTube, on the internet. A lot of them are getting major exposure that way.
Absolutely.
They don't need to go the traditional route anymore. The internet has changed that path.
Yeah. Well, Nathaniel Rateliff, he's had a music career almost a decade long before he hit.
Yep.
And I'm just like, what? And then that doesn't make any sense. How can a dude this talented play for so long and not get recognized? Mm-hmm. And like I said, between YouTube and Wikipedia rabbit holes diving down, and you're like, why is this guy not more famous? And it blows my mind that
you familiar with Chris Stapleton?
Yes.
Hot artist right now. He did a great rendition of Tennessee Whiskey. He was actually in a band prior, and there's a song called Barely Alive that a coworker recommended me. Oh, you like Chris Stapleton? Check this out. And this is, I can't even remember what they're called now, but it's a fantastic song.
Oh, okay.
And that's from like 8 years ago, before Stapleton really blew up.
It's crazy.
Yep.
It's just absolutely crazy. Like how... What's that thing? What's that thing that pops a dude into the stratosphere? Mm-hmm. There's it can't be son of a bitch for Nathaniel Rateliff. Like, what was the thing?
There's only 2 songs from Nathaniel Rateliff that I know, and Son of a Bitch is one, and the other one is Howling at the Moon. Those are the only 2 songs by him that I've heard on a regular basis.
But he's got such...
I know. There should be way more than that.
Yeah.
And
there's one for me, Canadian band, Glorious Sons.
Heard of them.
Yeah. So they did a song a couple years ago called Sawed Off Shotgun.
Don't know that one.
I'll have to play it for you. And it took off. It just became one of those, the song. Come to find out, these guys had a decade-long career beforehand. And they said this one song caught fire. And they said everybody's like, the Glorious Sons are the greatest thing ever. Because they also came in right around the time Gord Downey died.
Okay.
So everybody's going like, we need a new Tragically Hip. And Glorious Sons goes, we'll do it.
Pick me.
So it's weird how some of that stuff either happens organically or whatever, how that happens. Like some of these people just like take off like a rocket, and you just like, what is the thing? I suppose that's the thing everybody asks. Like, what do you do to cause that to happen for you?
You know, there's the band Mariana's Trench.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of a lot of their music. They don't get nearly enough play. Every time they put out an album, there's usually one or two really solid hits for sure in there. But they don't get nearly enough play. And that baffles me because they've changed their style from album to album. They did an entire album that was all inspired by the Goonies.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Like the music doesn't necessarily play directly to it, but the album cover, I believe one video for sure, like it was inspired by the Goonies.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Like I think the opening song is called Astoria. Like
yeah. All right.
So when they pull stuff like that, and they started out as like just another alternative rock band.
Yep.
And they've altered and changed, and they put out great stuff.
I think a lot of the problem with not being a new music, like trying to get new music, especially with terrestrial radio and mass media, stuff like this, you can't break into that because I've listened to like 89X and you can almost predict what's going to be playing next. They're still playing Spoon Man from Soundgarden, which is how many almost decades old now?
Oh, I get a kick out of New Rock Today or something like that. Like I caught that. That was their slogan. I had it on there. Like this was like less than a month ago. I had it on that station, and they said something. New Rock first, and then they played something that I know I listened to in the '90s.
Oh yeah.
That's not new rock.
I would like to raise a point, but it's just I don't.
I know it wasn't the Time Warp show either.
No. I get if you're going to do a Time Warp show, great, cool. That's what that's for. But if you're the new rock alternative, which used to be one of their taglines, give me new rock.
Yes.
Give me a new alternative. But they just, they have a set list.
Yep.
But
most radio stations do.
Yeah.
Shoot, I can remember when I was in high school, I did co-op at the Instant Print Shop. Okay.
Yeah.
And I split my time between there and the local yearbook office, Friesen's Yearbooks. I would spend a couple days at one and a couple days at the other. They both would listen to CFCO.
I know exactly what you're
AM
talking
630
about.
CFCO. They only played old time classics.
Yep.
Their rotation was so set in stone that a song would come on, I would hear it and I go, the next song is going to be this, and sure enough it would be.
Yep.
Like I got to know their playlist by memory.
Yeah, we would work midnights.
Fucking Steely Dan.
On midnights, we'd only be able to get one radio, so we'd get CKSY on midnights. And whatever time the last DJ leaves, he pops the tape in for the rest of the night. And you can, there's been nights where it goes, okay, tonight is the Monday, Wednesday, Friday tape. And then we have the Tuesday, Thursday tape, because it is exactly commercials in the same spot. The music is just like, it's 3:00, time for, oh, yep, there it is. It's just like you don't even have to look at a clock. You can just listen to a song and you're going to get the time. And it's just like, I just can't stand that.
Most radio stations aren't quite that bad anymore, at least from what I gather. Although there are, like I do like Cool FM.
Oh, is that the
95? That's what 95.1 became.
Oh, okay.
They're out of Windsor, but they say Chatham, Kent, Windsor. But
well, they have a repeater tower here. That's why.
Right. They do overplay certain songs.
Yeah.
I have heard, and I'm not necessarily complaining, but I kind of am because I'm kind of burned out on it. But I've heard Pink Floyd's The Wall almost I got another brick in the wall almost every day now for almost a month. Just about every day. I like the song, but you're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, there was I was reading an article from the Toronto.
Oh, and White Wedding by Billy Idol. That one's come up a lot too.
There was a DJ out of Toronto used to do a psychedelic Sunday show, and he just retired.
Okay,
and this dude was doing this show Sunday. I think it was Sunday afternoon show. And when he finally retired, it was no, don't go. But that's his show. That was his show. And I'm just that would be so cool to do. You get in there for 4 hours and you get there and you get to play cool songs that aren't on the set playlist. Mm-hmm. That would be, I was I want to do that. That would be so cool to do.
Again, going back to when I was a kid, mostly rock. My dad was my dad's music. That's what I got attached to. I was born and raised on the Meatloaf "Bat Out of Hell" album, and Queen. That was the music I grew up with. Old country was a bit of a thing when I'd be at my grandparents' place. Yep. But other than that, I was mostly country. Then I started to discover, my cousins got me hooked on Run DMC and Beastie Boys and whatnot. So I kind of fell into that for a while. And then Guns N' Roses came along.
Oh, yeah.
I listened to the hell out of Appetite for Destruction.
Everybody did.
I remember, yes.
I remember in this basement, we had a tape deck that auto-reversed. Mm-hmm. Where you put Appetite for Destruction.
I had one that flipped.
Well,
flip sides automatically.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So you would play A side
and then flip the B side.
Yeah, and then flip the B side. We'd be down here. It would never not be Appetite for Destruction. It would never, ever. Somebody goes, "Can we play?" No. There is no music other than Guns N' Roses right now.
Yep, that album was phenomenal.
It was huge.
Yep. Also, not quite the same. Twisted Sister. Yes. Twisted Sister "Stay Hungry" album.
Yes, that's a great album.
That was a great album. Some really cool songs. Not even just the major hits.
Yeah, 3 major hits, and then was it Captain Howdy?
Captain Howdy was a great weird song.
Just twisted.
So you had "We're Not Gonna Take It." I Want to Rock. Stay Hungry, the title album, which is a decent song. The Price.
Yes.
I love The Price. And then Captain Howdy, which he ends up using later on when he makes the movie Strange
Didn't he do a stripped down acoustic version of Captain Howdy?
I'm not familiar with that. I know he did the "We're Not Gonna Take It" stripped down for cancer research.
Yeah. I saw that. That was a strong song right there.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing a stripped down version of Captain Howdy though, but that song.
Maybe something in my head is just do you really need to make this song or something like that? But
and The Beast was also one of my favorites. See no evil, don't you speak.
Did you ever see the Twisted Sister documentary on Netflix?
No.
Oh, dude.
There's a documentary?
Yes. It talks about the very beginnings of Twisted Sister, and it's fantastic. You have to find it and watch it.
I think I do.
Yeah.
Yes, because the interesting group there.
Yep. Well, there's the one story.
I love that he hosts House of Hair. There's no better, but nobody better.
No. Dee Snider's talking about they're on stage in Europe or someplace like this, and everybody hates them. People in the crowd, they're throwing rocks at him. Dee Snider stops. Said, "All right, listen, you fuckers. If you want to keep throwing rocks over us, meet us over at the side of the stage. We're going to beat the fuck out of you. Then we're going to come back and finish our set." So Dee slams the mic down and walks over to the side of the stage. He goes, "I'm so glad nobody showed up." So he comes back up on stage and they get back into it, and everybody's like, "Oh, okay, you guys got balls.
All right,
continue." So
why would people do that? You paid money to come see that.
I don't know. Why do people do half the shit they do?
That's bizarre.
It is. Okay.
Other than like, the only time I've ever heard of people doing that was like Bill Cosby.
Well, yeah. Okay. I have a first-hand example of somebody being dumb, and it cost them a great deal of money. Me and Shooter went to go see Metallica at Jolos Arena for their Death Magnetic tour. The second, Monster Magnet was the second act. They just left the stage. Metallica is coming up next. The lights are on. Everybody's kind of milling around. All of a sudden, there's a couple, two couples talking to each other by the hockey boards. All of a sudden, a beer comes arcing out of the heavens. Boom! Or lands right in between them. Splashes both couples with beer. Security runs over. There's a dude with a flashlight holding it up, and he goes right. He points, and we look back, and there's security coming down both aisles.
So they saw who did it.
They saw who did it. They grabbed this dude, dragged him over the boards, and took him to the back of through the back entrance of the arena. I'm like, you just spent $250 because, and you're not going to see Metallica because you're dumb.
He came to see me at Monster Magnet.
I don't know.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, but what would possess somebody to throw a beer and then expect to not get thrown out?
Yeah, that's
just before.
He probably wasn't expecting. Oh, there's such a big crowd; they're never going to know it was me.
Bullshit. They nailed that dude within 5 seconds of
they
that.
They triangulated his position.
Were
there drones involved?
There must have been, because that dude on the floor, the security guy, he had his flashlight up. Like, I didn't even see the beam, so he had a good idea where this dude was. And it was like, boom, there. And it's like dumb. So dumb.
Yeah, that's baffling.
Yep. Like, I don't get it. If you're going to spend that much money, we talked about this with that dude taping the AEW.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend that much money to go to a show, watch the goddamn show.
Yep.
I don't know. Kids, these fucking millennials.
90s.
Yes.
Okay, 90s come along, high school. That's where I started to understand and learn about music theater a bit.
Okay.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
The original Broadway soundtrack.
Yes.
Phenomenal work. Okay. I listened to the hell out of that soundtrack. No, we're talking not the Canadian. We're talking the original.
The original.
The original.
That's Sarah Brightman.
Sarah Brightman and Michael Crawford.
That's it. I know exact that. Like,
but and again, now you're talking about blending, because you had the original orchestral version, and then it would kick in with the electro synth.
Yes. Yep.
And electric drums.
That's crazy.
Electric drums.
Yep.
Like, fuck.
I remember listening to that. That was the one that really got me hooked on a lot of musical theater, because it was Phantom, Les Mis, Miss Saigon, Cats. A lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff got thrown into that mix, because I also
he was the king of that stuff for a decade.
Yeah, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yep.
A lot of that stuff. I listened to a lot of the Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff. Mm-hmm. The Phantom was. I remember going to see Phantom of the Opera in Detroit. Ex-girlfriend and her parents we went to go see it, and it was just like, wow. Because I know a lot of people went to go see it in Pantages in Toronto.
That's where I saw it.
Everybody's going, that was the place to go see it. And I never had an opportunity to go to.
That's where I saw it. Unfortunately, when we went, we didn't get Colm Wilkinson. We got like the second understudy or something. It was still great, a great show.
Not Colm Wilkinson.
It wasn't Colm Wilkinson.
Yeah.
So when I got to when Xander and I were given tickets to see Colm Wilkinson perform here in Chatham a couple years ago, and we were front row center. Like, I got Colm Wilkinson spit on my shoe. That's how we were right there.
And I haven't taken it off since.
like that. You want talent? Come on,
yeah,
that guy was amazing, and he sang every major piece you can think of, and ended with Les Mis with
Jean Valjean.
no, fuck, what's the song? One Day More.
Oh, ooh, wow.
That's the song he ended with.
Yeah.
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I wished, like, I got to hear him sing Phantom. I just didn't get to hear him sing it in the show.
As the Phantom.
Right.
So, awesome.
Crystal, meeting Crystal, she got me into country.
Really?
Because she was raised country.
I never would have expected
She
that.
was raised on country, so classic country somewhat, and then we both fell together into the new country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Garth Brooks, Shania Twain, and all that stuff,
Brooks and Dunn.
all that stuff.
Yep.
Joe Diffie.
Wow, there's a name I haven't heard ever.
Bigger Than the Beatles. I love that song by Joe Diffie. And Pickup Man, he's got that.
Okay.
But Bigger Than the Beatles, I love that song by Joe Diffie. Travis Tritt. Travis Tritt has a series of 3 songs. If you can find them, you can find the videos on YouTube, but they're not great quality. They're like VHS rips from CMT when it used to show videos.
Yeah.
Because Travis Tritt did these 3 videos where telling a story of a couple where the guy went to war, got injured, and comes back, and he didn't know how he could, because he was crippled.
Yeah.
He was in a wheelchair, and so it's him struggling with life after the war. Then she gets pregnant, and he's struggling. How am I going to be able to be a father? And then there's the video where
Look at you getting emotional.
Oh, I just thinking about it, dude. So they live like on a lake, and she's pregnant. She's pregnant, and she slips and falls on the dock and hits her head.
Oh.
She dies. The baby lives, and now he's got to be a father without her. Like, wow. Yeah, and I don't even. I have not seen these videos in a long time, but I don't even remember the names of the songs. But there's 3 of them that all tell this story, and my God, just like, well, you can see I'm getting choked up already.
Yeah,
it's good shit.
Travis Tritt songs.
But Garth Brooks was the man, and he's starting to make a comeback. Justin Timberlake recently, I think it was last year, had a video, posted a video. A video got out online of Justin Timberlake at a concert in, I want to say, Nashville, and he had like a whole choir behind him, like a whole big to-do going on.
Yep.
And they started singing "Friends in Low Places."
Nice.
Out comes Garth.
No way.
And Garth did the alternate second verse, the alternate ending. Have you ever heard that?
No.
He used to do it in one of his concert videos. He goes, so if you remember "Friends in Low Places," the last verse ends with, and I'll be as high as that ivory tower that you're living on. Like, okay, yep. So you're going to be up there, right? And so he tells the story like this. It's like, so I'm driving in my car one day, and Friends in Low Places comes on, and I hear it, and I go, Garth, because I call myself Garth. Garth, is that really how you would handle that situation? Because if you remember, it's about breaking up and moving on, right? Yeah.
Well,
he's got friends in low places, and he's gonna, she can do her own thing.
She left him, and he confronted her.
Yeah.
at a party.
Yeah,
a cocktail party, because it's a fancy schmancy one.
Yes. So he says, "Is that really how you handle the situation?" And, no, I don't think so. So it's the sweet little lady, I'll head back to the bar, and you can kiss my ass. Oh, just wait till I finish this glass. That's how the line leads into, and I'll be as high as that ivory tower as you're living on. But instead of that, it's the sweet little lady, I'll head back to the bar, and you can kiss my ass.
That's a good one. Well done, Garth.
I think he also did a third verse to Thunder Rolls, which is, if you remember that video, that's about the abusive husband cheating on the wife, and she shoots him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that stuff. Yeah, I was like, that was right in the wheelhouse back in.
Mama loves Papa.
Yes, I was just thinking about that one too. Actually, I heard that on the radio a couple weeks ago. Really?
Wow.
Yep. Because actually, satellite radio comes into play with this one because I think it was one of the outlaw radio or country outlaw something like this. And that come on, I went, yes, please. And I cranked
Mama
that
loves
one.
Papa, Papa loves man. Or Papa loves Mama, Mama loves men.
Yeah.
And in the end, Papa drives his truck right into that motel.
He didn't hit the brakes and he was shifting gears.
He didn't hit the brakes and he was shifting gears.
That's good stuff right there. All right. We should probably get out of here.
I was not expecting to go on this route today.
No, he said it started out Kevin Smith and he went right to Garth Brooks.
It ends on Garth Brooks. Wow.
That is something.
Follow that. You see people with the strings across the board on the bullet board.
What?
They went here. They went here. They went here.
Hey, what do you want?
I'm going to try
You're
to
going
list how many jumps we've made.
Oh, God. Good luck.
I'm going to attempt. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'm going to try, and I'll tell you how many different jumps it takes us to get from Kevin Smith to Garth Brooks.
Okay, I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
We're at 1 hour, 35 minutes.
Okay.
If you can figure out how many jumps we've taken,
Okay.
that will be a hell
Do I
of a-
include side trips?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it
All right. I will
works.
try to count it.
All right. Attaboy. There's
Okay.
your project.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'll give up after 12.
No, yeah, I was like, well, I don't know what you guys are doing. But we do have a super secret project that we want to.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. We'll do quick little thing. So we have a project that we're working on exclusively for the Patreon.
Yep.
Do you want to say the name?
Nerd Tours.
Nerd Tours. So what the
Let that wet your whistle.
Yeah. Right
Nerd
now,
Tours by Dispatches from Shedquarters.
We're working on something right now, and I think it's going to be kind of fun.
Yes, we just got to work out some details. 'Cause obviously, we're hitting a few bumps.
Yeah, it's one of these things where if it works, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
We just have to get it to work.
Yes.
So there's your teaser. There's your clickbait.
And this is for the Patreon.
This is for the Patreon.
Might also see some movie review articles available there.
You don't say.
Yeah. That's a little something extra coming from me that may be coming. So
All right. Cool.
I'll throw that in there too.
Yeah. So we're working on stuff.
Yes. Just give us a little time. Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, we're working on stuff.
Yes.
We once we have we don't want to put half-ass shit up there.
No.
So once we get everything where we're happy with it, then we'll put it out there.
Yeah.
So if it's not up to our standards, such as they are, I've recorded in a shed.
I know.
So, but we'll endeavor to get everything out to.
When I think back to the first days of the Madhouse.
Yes.
Okay.
Those suck.
You're talking 6 years ago.
Yep.
Almost 6 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Madhouse celebrated 5 years last year. So.
Yep. Damn.
So we're at pushing 6 years.
Yep.
At least you're using microphones. And you're actually using them.
Yes.
Whereas for 3 episodes, you had the mics connected, and you weren't even using them because you forgot to turn off the laptop mic.
There's a setting that I didn't even know existed until
I flipped that switch, and it was night and day different.
I think I ended up doing like a Google search or a YouTube search. I'm like, why is this not working?
You forgot one button.
Yeah, I had to switch over from input or output to input,
something like that.
And I'm just like, oh, that makes it sound professional. But Apple iTunes, Google Play Store, Spotify,
YouTube.
If you're looking for YouTube, just search my name, Mike Lutz, and then.
Ooh, be careful of that. I did that recently. There's a lot of other Mike Lutzes out there.
Son of a bitch.
Just search dispatches from Shedquarters and you'll find it.
Yeah.
It'll come up, I think, under the Mike Lutz show.
I changed that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But dispatches from Shedquarters will bring you right to it.
Dispatches from Shedquarters on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter at MikeLutz52.
At Count Beishi. At Count Beishi.
Yeah.
I don't tweet a whole lot. I don't really do much with Twitter. I read more than I post, but I'm posting right now because of my campaign for Kevin. So
there we go. So for good show? Happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Okay, that's cool. So we're going to get out of here because I don't know. I got something else I want to do. Anyways, so thanks for stopping by.
Gotham City needs my help, man. We got to go.
Oh, that's right.
Batman still needs my help.
Batman still needs Jason's help.
Yep.
So thank you for stopping by for Dispatches from Shedquarters. This has been Mike.
And Jason.
We will talk with you next week.
Bye-bye.